Good night, Malaysian 370. That was the final, completely routine radio transmission from the cockpit, right before a Boeing 777 carrying 239 people simply vanished. In modern global aviation, passenger jets are kept under constant, overlapping surveillance. Between GPS uplinks, civilian air traffic control, and military radar networks, we maintain a tight digital leash on commercial aircraft. For the first 40 minutes, MH370 behaved exactly as expected. It took off smoothly from Kuala Lumpur on a clear March night in 2014, climbing to cruising altitude on its scheduled route toward Beijing. In an era where every flight is backed by redundant layers of satellite and ground-based surveillance, the total disappearance of a commercial airliner represents a collapse of the industry's most basic tracking assumptions. The exact moment of the anomaly occurred during what should have been a standard procedure, the handover between Malaysian and Vietnamese air traffic controllers over the South China Sea. This map tracks the plane's digital footprint, and it shows the exact second everything stopped. Right at the boundary line of the two airspaces, the plane's transponder, the device broadcasting its location and altitude, went completely silent, and the civilian radar blip disappeared. In the minutes following that signal loss, no automated distress triggers activated on the aircraft, and the crew never keyed the radio to declare an emergency. That instantaneous shift from perfectly normal flight to an absolute data vacuum points to a sudden, catastrophic break in all standard communication links to the ground. Looking at the trajectory map built from military radar, the aircraft didn't crash at the handover point. Instead, it executed a sharp U-turn across the Malaysian peninsula. The radar trace shows it flying straight toward the vast, unmonitored Indian Ocean. A cascading mechanical failure typically results in erratic movements or an immediate steep descent. Executing a precise 180-degree turn at cruising altitude requires deliberate manual inputs into the flight computer. This means MH370 likely became a ghost flight, a massive aircraft operating and navigating through the dark for hours in total radio silence. The military radar data completely shifts the investigation's focus. The aircraft remained airborne for hours, following a trajectory that kept it on the periphery of regional surveillance networks. In response, an international coalition mobilized. The United States, Australia, China, Malaysia, and others deployed fleets to scour the ocean. Despite surveying millions of square miles of seabed, they found nothing. No primary wreckage, no missing passengers, and no data recorders. It took years before a few isolated pieces of the plane's exterior began washing up on the beaches of East Africa and island nations. While those small fragments confirmed the aircraft was ultimately destroyed in the ocean, they offered exactly zero diagnostic data regarding why it diverted in the first place. The failure of the most expensive recovery operation in aviation history proves the Earth retains blind spots large enough to hide a commercial airliner completely. Because we are entirely missing the flight data recorders, investigators are forced to rely on competing hypotheses to fill the gap. The first major theory suggests a critical malfunction, perhaps a sudden depressurization event that caused hypoxia, incapacitating the crew, and leaving the plane flying on autopilot until it ran out of fuel. The second theory points to a hostile hijacking, where unauthorized individuals breached the cockpit and deliberately severed the communication lines. The third proposes an intentional act by a member of the flight crew, manually rerouting the plane and depressurizing the cabin. Organizing these three theories into a matrix against our only verified facts, the normal radio sign-off, the deliberate turn, and the scattered debris, reveals that every theory requires massive assumptions to align with those sparse data points. Without the black boxes, the math simply doesn't close. We lack the basic physical evidence required to elevate any of these ideas above highly educated guesswork. The reality that a modern commercial jet can permanently vanish forces us to recognize the deep limits of our digital surveillance networks. But beneath the data vacuum and the radar anomalies, there is the unresolved weight carried by the families of the 239 people who never arrived in Beijing. Years of high-resolution mapping and technical analysis have failed to move the investigation past its starting point, those final 4 words of routine radio contact.